Hello, this is Emma Paulette from Blue Sky Vitality, and I'm here to present to you 5 top tips to exercise even when you're crazy busy. So I'm really excited to be here as part of the MamaB community. I was asked to join as your exercise expert. So my background is as a personal trainer, I'm a yoga teacher, and I'm a health coach. And I just find that exercising and moving your body is just such an important part of feeling healthy, feeling vibrant, and just being able to give of yourself as mothers are called to do. So I was thrilled when I was asked to join this community. Being a mother myself, unfortunately, hasn't been on the cards, and I've suffered from endometriosis and did have a hysterectomy this year. So I will never have my own children, but from the clients that I have that are mothers, from my family members that are mothers, I can see that it becomes quite all-consuming sometimes, and I completely understand. But I really love to help women to shine and to really let go of things like body image issues, being too busy doing things for other people to look after themselves. So I'm really passionate to be here in this community because I really want to help all of you shine as women on your own, as well as mothers. Of course, being a mother is so important, but I want to see you shine as well. And I really believe that regular exercise is such an important part of that. So if we move on to the next slide, which is just a picture of me with one of my clients. And as I said, I'm really passionate about movement and how important it is for creating a life that you really love and being able to feel, able to shine and be your true important self that you are. My background is just over 5 years ago, I was living in Sydney and I was a sales manager, a national sales manager for a large international company. I was getting myself up at 5 in the morning to 5:30 in the morning to get to the gym before I'd start work, and then I'd work really hard and I'd end up crashing at the end of the day, towards the end of the day, and I'd eat a lot of chocolate and I'd drink a lot of coffee because I got up so early, and then by the time it was time to go to bed I would drink too much wine to try and relax again, and then I'd get up again and go back to the gym, and I was really just thrashing my body. And this was all in the pursuit of a perfect body, because I thought if I had a perfect body, life would be perfect too. But in the end, I just became quite exhausted and overwhelmed, and my endometriosis kicked in, and it just wasn't a sustainable lifestyle. So back in 2012, I did start doing some outdoor boxing classes. So I got out of the gym and it was just more of a social and fun environment. And after 3 classes, I was absolutely and genuinely hooked. And I decided I wanted to be a personal trainer, which just came out of the bolt of the blue, and it just felt so good. So my family all live in Albany, Western Australia, where I live now. And I just messaged my mum on Facebook and said, "Mum, I think I'm going to move home and become a personal trainer." And she said, "Oh, darling, when are you coming?" As my beautiful mother is wont to do. So that was just over 5 years ago now. And I really love being a personal trainer for all the reasons I've explained. And I'm really excited to be able to share some of what I know and what I've learned over the last 5 years with all of you. So my presentation this week is top 5 tips to exercise even when you're crazy busy, because I know how it feels to be busy, and I know how it feels to think, the last thing I want to do is exercise. So I really want to be able to help you find some ways, some hacks to make sure you can get that exercise in, but without pressure. If you've got a really, really busy day, you don't have to exercise every day. But I want to find a way for you to exercise more often than not. So here are my 5 best tips, and I'll just quickly run through them now and then we'll go through them in more detail. So the first one is to drop any expectations about your exercise session. Second is to understand that exercise doesn't need to be formal to count. Number 3 is that sweating is not compulsory. Number 4 is find an exercise routine that works for you at home. And number 5, do exercise that you love. So the first one, drop any expectations about your exercise session. The thing is, I see a lot of people in my line of work who say, I don't have time to exercise, I can't get to a class, it takes too long, who's got 30 minutes? And they use time as a real excuse to not do any exercise at all. And so I just need you to know right now that you don't have to do an hour of exercise. You don't have to go to a class at the gym if it takes too long. You don't even have to do 30 minutes of exercise. Even just 10 minutes of exercise a day is better than none. And this is one of my big theories, and this is something I will say over and over again in this group. Some exercise is always better than none. So even if it's 10 minutes a day, 1 minute a day, I'll show you in the next couple of weeks a 1 minute workout you can do, then do it. It's way better than doing nothing. So don't let your own lofty expectations of what you think an exercise routine looks like get in your way. Just know that even if it's 5 minutes while the kettle's boiling or something like that, just do it. It's better than doing nothing. My second tip is that exercise doesn't need to be formal to count. So you don't have to go to a class, you don't have to go to the gym, you don't have to go to a yoga studio. You can find different ways to just add more incidental exercise into your day. So things like parking a bit further away from the supermarket than you normally would and walking. So if you park at the other end of the car park, and instead of trying to get the closest car park, get the furthest one away, because you've got the walk into the supermarket, you've got the walk around the supermarket, and then you're walking back with a full trolley, pushing it a bit further. That's all exercise. Another one is to play with the kids rather than just watching them at the park. So it's easy to think, I've got 2 minutes to sit by myself, and I get that. But maybe, spend 5 minutes on the swings pushing the kids or doing whatever it is, and then spend a couple of minutes on your own as well. So making sure that you get that time with the kids, because the heart rate gets up quickly when you're playing with kids, and that's awesome. Things like hanging out the washing rather than using the dryer, because obviously you're putting your hands generally over your head. So that's like a little workout in itself. And anytime you raise your arms above your head, you're sort of elevating your heart rate as well, which is a nice little kick for your exercise and for your metabolism. Dancing in the kitchen to your favorite song. So have something joyful and fun. It doesn't have to be a formal thing. Choose a song. I actually love Taylor Swift's Shake It Off if I'm feeling a bit frustrated or something's got me down. That song sort of always perks me up. So a quick dance in the kitchen to that always makes me feel better. Using the stairs. So make a commitment from today. I'm going to use the stairs anytime I see stairs instead of using a lift or using an escalator. If I have the opportunity, I will use the stairs. Let's all make that little commitment right now together. Hold your hand up and say, I will always use the stairs. And, why not hit the hay with your partner a little bit more often? That's another way to get some exercise. So just start to think about ways in your day that you can get more exercise. If you're going to work and you catch a bus, then maybe you can, get off a stop earlier. All those things that you've probably heard before, but make a little commitment to yourself right now that you are actually going to do it. Number 3 is that sweating is not compulsory. So sometimes people find that just that whole getting sweaty, needing to change their clothes, needing to have a change of clothes with them, bringing their makeup to the gym, all that stuff kind of just gets in the way. So perhaps you could find a gentle yoga class that you can attend on your lunch break or when you're on the way to pick up the kids or, after school drop off. And it's something that, won't mess with the rest of your routine because you're not getting all sweaty and you don't need to find that time to shower and redo your hair and all that sort of stuff. So maybe just changing the way you're exercising means that you're more likely to fit it into your busy schedule. Another great way is to find exercise that you can do at home. So I love home workouts because there's no need to drive to the gym or find parking or wait for that machine that you like because everyone else is using it too, or finding a babysitter if you need to leave the kids at home. So more and more now you can actually get personal trainers to do a PT session over Skype. I use a free tool called Zoom, and you can actually record the session, which is great because then I can send that to my client and she can reuse it during the week. You know, so if we have one PT session a week, she can reuse that a few times and have a couple of workouts. Because I know sometimes if you try to just exercise at home, it never happens because, you know, there's always something else that can be done. But maybe if you choose to have a PT session over Skype or Zoom like I use, then you've got this great way of having a commitment. You've made an appointment with a professional and you don't need to leave the house, so you're saving yourself some time. And the last one is just finding that exercise that you love. And it doesn't have to be a Zumba class if everyone else is doing Zumba and you hate being in a class. Some people don't like that. They're introverts. They don't want to be around lots of people. That's cool. Find what you really love, because the more you love the exercise that you choose, the more you're going to do it. So try and get rid of that thought that you need to do what everyone else is doing and do what you really love. And a wonderful way of doing this is to think back to what you loved doing as a child. So for instance, I did ballet. And so I really liked that feeling of being in the studio and stretching and all that kind of thing. So now that I've rediscovered my yoga practice and I teach yoga, that's kind of a similar way of bringing that ballet kind of thing back into my lifestyle. So, you know, just think a little bit outside of the box of what you used to do as a kid, and then maybe, you know, just tweak it a little bit so that you're doing it something similar now as an adult. So they're my 5 top tips on how to exercise when life is crazy busy, which it is for most of us. I'd love to know what you think, and just send me any comments or questions in this post. And after that, hopefully feeling a little bit more inspired to get started on your own exercise journey or try something new. So you can head over to my website, which is blueskyvitality.net, and you can join my free 7 days of yoga challenge. So if you just scroll down to the bottom, you will see you can just pop in your name and your email. And once you do that, you'll receive a daily email with photos, audios, and video that will teach you the basics of a sun salutation, which is a really classic sequence of yoga poses. And then you can start learning yoga today in your own home. So great way to save time, great way to save a little bit of money as well and learn something new. So thank you very much. I really look forward to being part of this group, and I look forward to all your questions and comments, and I can't wait to meet you all soon.